Grand Rising, everyone. Oh, look at that. We have a little snowman person with us today.
Hi! Greetings! Two
And the
snowmen! Two snow women.
and the reason why you're wearing those glasses today is because
Oh my goodness, did we have an interesting stormy night
oh
last night?
yes.
Wind like I haven't seen wind like that. I've seen a couple posts on Facebook with friends that have had trees go down on their property, and yeah, it was wild to say the least.
You know what was funny? Uh, somebody's fishing shack
Uh-huh.
went
Skating?
yeah, went skating. Anyways, there's a little video. It was quite funny.
No kidding.
Yeah,
So,
with
who
just
are we?
all kinds of comments. But anyways,
No
yes, who
doubt.
are we? Good morning, Dell. Good
Good
morning.
morning, good morning. We are all in alignment with Anita A, Cheryl V, your stress reduction gurus, coming at you live like we do every Friday morning. This is, I don't want to say it's a highlight for the week because then you'd think I'd have a really boring life. But it certainly is a fun part of our week because we get to dress up and wear fun glasses. And why? Why do we wear the glasses, Anita?
Well, it brings out our inner child, and we are looking at your environment, our environment, through our Feng Shui eyes.
Yeah.
Means we get to look at things energetically and see what's going on.
Hmm.
And we had the opportunity this week to do a
Yes.
in-home consultation with someone, and we didn't put on our feng shui glasses, but we certainly, you know,
Put on our feng shui eyes.
metaphorically we did.
Absolutely. We're going to talk about that because one thing was moved and it shifted.
Hmm.
But every week we take our theme or topic from the day from the Personal Paradise Feng Shui card deck by Tarah Kathryn Collins. And I've been shuffling. I've got one card out already. But you can chat a little bit about Miss Tara if you'd like, or what?
Well, you know what? Miss Tara reached out to me this week and said, Anita, when are you doing your spring training dates? So
Fun.
yeah, anyways, because I facilitate the Western School of Feng Shui curriculum
Hmm.
here in Canada in person to real students. It's a week-long intensive training
Oh,
for
yeah.
anyone that wants to, take that and put it in their little tool belt.
Hmm.
And you can take it forward if you are a decorator, maybe you're a real estate agent, maybe you're a massage therapist, maybe you're, whatever holistic modality of healing that you're already in or interested in. You can add the essential feng shui certification training to your list of services. So,
Very cool.
um, yeah,
And
I
when
don't know
she
if it's
says,
up live on the website yet, but we it'll be coming. So
cool,
spring training. Let's do spring training
spring
together.
training camp. Sound like baseball.
Yeah,
So we've had three cards fly out of the deck.
of
The
course.
first one, number 24, stove. The
Mm.
second one, number 17, foyer. Foyer, I say. This is a really odd combination, but as always, it flows together. And the third one, number 14, gardens.
That is an odd
So
combination.
this is going to be interesting, but I want to start. Notice the color perimeter on all of these. So
Hmm.
we have when we talk about five element theory, which you'll learn in the Feng Shui Western School of Feng Shui essential Feng Shui practitioner training program that Anita facilitates. Get all your words correct.
I know
You'll
it's a
learn a little bit
mouthful.
about, you'll be introduced to the five element theory.
Hmm.
So the green is the wood. The
Hmm.
orange can go between earth and fire. And the deeper red, to me, can go between fire and a little bit of water because it's pretty dark. So we have wood. Let me do this instead. Earth that the trees grow out of. So earth supports the wood, and the wood feeds the fire.
Hmm.
There's your first very short five element training.
Yeah.
All right, so let's talk about. I know why stove came up because mine needs some attention.
Mine does too.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah. Yeah, mine absolutely does. Because, and you know what? It was Christmas and extra cooking,
Yep.
and the pie left some juice in there, and right?
Yep.
Maybe the
Yep.
ham or the turkey or something like that. And absolutely, I know my stove needs some love. So
Mhm.
that likely is why it came up.
It's
Um,
also one of those things like we've got right now a series of tips for the Chinese New Year, so getting ready. And one of the tips talks about your stove and it's the hub. But to get a little bit of fire energy going, it recommends that you turn on all the burners for a little bit. Really bring some activity in there. So that might be the other reason, because there's been a few comments, I believe, on that post. But
mhm.
go ahead. I was going to cut you. I kind of
Yeah,
cut you.
no, I mean, absolutely, that's perfect. And I love those Chinese New Year's tips. And if you haven't already, been looking at them every day, take a look, share them out on your
Mm,
Facebook page, share them out with some friends because there's some great tips in there.
yeah.
And of course, uh, Chinese New Year is coming up next weekend. No, is it next
29th.
weekend? The weekend after. Anyways, it's
Midweek.
coming
Yeah. Yep.
really
29th.
soon. And it is important because the Chinese New Year follows the moon cycle.
Lunar. Mm-hmm.
And we are actually more in tune and connected with the energy of the moon because we are 70-80% water, right?
Yes.
And there's this invisible string that connects us to the moon. So, yeah, we would encourage you to follow those Chinese New Year's tips, share them out, and then let us know if it made a difference for you because
Yeah.
it only takes 20 minutes, right?
Yeah. The
20
intention
minutes a
behind
day.
them. Yep. Short,
Mhm.
short, easy little tips you can do one a day. And that's the whole preparation for the Chinese Lunar New Year. And if the
Mhm.
word Chinese New Year bothers you, just call it Lunar New Year.
Mhm.
Whatever the case, whatever works for you. The whole
Right,
point
exactly.
being, it's shifting the energy in your space and you're preparing your space to welcome in that new energy, that new lunar energy.
Yeah, and just think it's just a new cycle. It's a
Yeah.
new cycle of planting seeds, growing seeds, rebirthing, whatever, however you want to think of that. It's just a
Exactly.
new cycle. And this is a perfect time of year to do that, cleaning and
Mhm.
freshening up your space, your home, looking at your space differently through your feng shui eyes. I know I've been looking at my space again
Mhm.
differently through my feng shui eyes since we have been embarked on the 21-day decluttering boot camp. And, there's another shift of
Yep.
energy, that we get fueled from the participants, we get ideas.
Oh, yeah.
Um, and it is like my whole main floor of my house is having a complete makeover. I'm telling you.
Nice.
So right now it's in chaos zone, but that's what happens. No
Yes.
different than when you use the stove to cook something, right?
The
It can
kitchen. Yeah.
bubble over. But at the end result is that you're going to have something beautiful, um, nourishing, etc. Hmm.
Exactly. And excuse me, tying into the Chinese New Year and tips, the foyer fits in here perfectly.
Yep.
Because if I understand correctly, there are actually decorating wars that go on in China. Then one person's trying to outdo the next person with the intention of they want more chi into their house. So they spend a lot of time on their outdoor garden area, the welcoming in the chi, and the foyer, preparing, trying to grab the energy's attention. Look at me, look at me, look at me. And right now in North America, we tend to get very boring.
Well, especially in these winter months in
Yeah,
North America,
yeah.
right? We can't do anything with our outdoor garden. It's kind of covered in snow and what have you. I actually last week, I believe it was, when we had a nice day,
Mm-hmm.
I took the Christmas decorations out of my pots that sit at the base of my steps, and I put in some artificial flowers. So it looks like spring out there in
Nice.
my little pots. Just a little burst of color. And what that does, and why that foyer, that front door, that entrance way is so important, because that's obviously your first impression, but that's where the good energy that is gathered out there has the opportunity to come in. And as we were helping our person this week in her
Mhm.
home, her foyer, her front entrance area needed some work.
Absolutely.
And we were able to look through our feng shui eyes and give her some recommendations because currently the energy of the space is talking to the world like this. Now, if I'm talking to, and you and I are having a conversation, Cheryl, and I have my head turned, how does that make you feel?
Ignored,
And
a little annoyed.
not welcomed.
Yeah.
And so our home energetically, her home energetically was putting out that message in the neighborhood that says, yeah, I don't mind. I'll talk to you, but maybe not all the time or when it's convenient or what have you.
And just a side note, that's structural. That is the way her home was designed and built. But
Hmm.
there are things that she can do that Anita's going to share with you right now, some of the recommendations.
Well, I don't know that I'm going to share the recommendations, but I just wanted to say that energetically,
Mm-hmm.
so what we're putting out there, that's the main thing. Energetically, what we're putting out there to our neighborhood, so that when somebody drives by, when somebody walks by, when somebody comes to visit, when a delivery person comes, that they're immediately feeling that they are welcomed, that they are greeted, that there are no obstacles, that they have a happy face on when you go to open the door. That's what we want because that shifts, right? If you see somebody smiling, you smile back.
Yeah.
It's automatic. How does that shift your personal auric energy field, right? It expands, it makes it go out. So then just imagine that somebody walks into your home with this big, beautiful, right? Just think of it like a big, beautiful, energetic bubble that's happy and joyful. And so when they come into your space, they're bringing that big bubble of energy with them. And guess
Absolutely.
what? Some of that's going to stay in there. Yay.
Yay is right. Celebrate that.
And
Excuse
that's really that is the essence or the importance of paying attention to those spaces
me. Hmm.
and looking at them energetically.
And the foyer is attached typically to the front entrance,
Hmm.
right?
Yeah.
So having that clear, having that welcoming, and maybe you don't use your front door often.
Hmm.
We use our back door majority of the time, but daily we go out and get the mail through the front door, right?
Hmm.
Um, what is the first thing? So think about yourself as energy when you're coming in. Think of yourself as water when you're coming in your front door and your foyer. And where would the water flow to from your foyer? Does it flow straight through and out the back door? Is it a meandering path to go around a few things, which is ideal, just so that you're understanding that. We don't want it to go straight through your house and gone. We want it to linger. We want it to welcome the occupants, this beautiful, lively, vibrant chi energy. So what in your foyer is welcoming it? What is the first thing you see in your foyer when you're standing at your door? And does it fill you? Does it fill you with joy? We have a picture traditionally, intentionally positioned of our grandson who is just smiling. You can't help but smile when you see that little man's face. Can't help but smile because he's so darn cute. You just want to. Anyway, a side note.
Well, and I also think that these cards might be, really attached to the home consultation that we did this week.
100%.
Because the person comes into her home through the garage, and there were all kinds of energetic things going boom, 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 getting her attention. And we asked her how she felt when she was leaving her house and how she felt when she was returning, and pointed out some things that really were not energetically making her feel very good about her home, herself, right? So yeah, it was a really interesting consultation.
Well,
And
and that
we
all.
didn't look at the stove, but the stove really, kind of represents and anchors the health in the home. And because it is that fire energy and it cooks our nourishing meals. And maybe, well, I might have to go back and ask her. I'm just wondering, maybe she doesn't use her stove very much, because I know we also did some shifting
Mhm.
in the dining room area because the dining room was not flowing, and it wasn't inviting to sit down and have a meal at the dining room table.
Mhm.
And so those kind of two things are kind of connected, I think, the
Well,
stove.
and 100, and the garden, because her chair where she loved to sit
Aha.
was positioned so she could look out into the garden. And
And her goal is to have a Zen garden,
yes.
right? So that, yes, that makes her feel good. And again, there was that
Out of.
pull for her to focus her attention or her energy on looking out onto the landscape, looking out onto plants,
Mhm.
because that makes her feel good. Because that over there, feels good, and everything else around here doesn't.
Doesn't.
Mm.
Exactly.
Because there
Exactly.
was
So literally all these cards tied together because of the home consultation
and Chinese New Year,
and
right?
Chinese New Year.
And there we
Absolutely.
go. Okay, well, we know it always works out somewhere.
We can always link it together to some way somehow. And um,
Well, and another suggestion that we made for her she has this big, huge, beautiful island,
oh,
and we suggested to take some of her plants and make a little Zen garden area on the island.
mm,
And again, that invites the chi to come and circulate around the island, maybe keeping you in the kitchen a little longer to cook that nourishing meal.
mhm.
And then again, it's that subconscious program of, oh, in the spring, and then start to visualize and start to feel
Yes.
what you might want to do in the outdoor landscape. Mhm.
100%, 100%. And the outdoor landscape is important, and how she's looking at it and things that we talked about was when she's at that point, when she's ready to look at the outdoor landscape. It's important to think about the view from in your house. because where we live, we spend so much time indoors. So if she blocks that view out for all of those months, she's not going to enjoy it.
Mm-hmm.
But if she creates the Zen garden so that she can enjoy it from outside looking into the house and from inside looking out of the house, then it works year round. So that's just a little bit of a landscaping design tip.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Beautiful. Okay, what did the cards all number? I didn't add that up.
Yeah, I did. We had a 24, which equals 6, a 17 that equals 8, 14 equals 5, and together they total 19, which
Okay.
is
Well, that would be new beginnings.
a 2, solid foundation.
Two. Oh.
2, 20. Yeah, so let me pull out my handy dandy double digitology book, Marilyn Harper.
Well, and again, that solid foundation of preparing for this new
Yes.
cycle, right? Creating that foundation for this new cycle to come in is
Mhm.
going to help you go through it with that, flow through with ease and grace.
Absolutely. The preparation makes all the difference. It's no different if you've ever done any home renovations or painting. And I use painting as the analogy because I thoroughly enjoy painting. It takes longer to do all the prep work than
Mm,
it does to do the actual painting. But if you take the time to do the prep work, the finished project or the finished product is so much nicer.
mm-hmm. 100%. Yeah, that's great.
All right, so let's talk about the two in looking at the physical appearance. Now, when Adironda talks about the two, it's how they look at it with a solid bottom. Okay? In looking at the physical appearance or structure of the two, we note it is quite different from the one. The one is standing alone, balancing. It's got the consistency and the persistence to be able to hold itself upright without any foundation. That's a one. In contrast, the two has a strong foundation. It has the strongest foundation of any of the numbers. It is very stable. It does not tip over. It provides an amazing amount of cooperation and diplomacy. I just love that. The two
Mm.
represents stability, soft hearts, emotions carried in the core of our foundation, a strong degree of patience, and a strong sensitivity to others. The ability to
Wow.
see the balance in two opposing forces. And I have to say, a strong degree of patience and strong sensitivity to others was our client.
I was thinking exactly the same thing, right? That's
Yeah.
yeah.
That
Anyways,
summarizes her perfectly.
yeah, and it was really profound for not only her but for us. And it kind of instilled in Cheryl and I again, um, how important this work is
Yeah.
and why we do what we do. Because when you can look at someone's space energetically and help them shift their health, help them shift their personal outlook on life,
Mhm.
help them feel motivated, encouraged, supported, loved. That's huge.
That's huge.
That's huge.
Yeah.
And that's what we did
Yeah.
in 2 hours simply by looking at the environment through our feng shui eyes.
100%.
I just want to give a shout out this morning to everyone that's joined us live, Dell, Paula, Chantel, whoever else is watching and not making a comment, and to the amazing, drum roll please, Karen Abler Carrasco,
Yay! And her New Year's article is out. Did you
who
read
is
it?
just an amazing teacher, wealth of knowledge,
Author.
avid gardener as well.
Yep.
Um, you know, she is the one that looks at every student's projects from the essential feng shui practitioner training.
Hmm.
And she's the one that, you know, gives them a yay, you know what you're talking about, and get out there in the world and do your work. But also, Cheryl, what else does Karen do this time of year that you and I go,
It's out.
is
It's
it?
posted. It's out. It's posted. I read it.
I didn't get
It's
the
awesome.
notification.
Yeah, yeah. It's on if you go to
Well, I'm sorry, Karen, because yeah, I usually, watch for that and I usually get some kind of a notification. Okay, well, I'm going to go find it and post it in the link.
Okay.
So Karen is a regular contributor to the Western School of Feng Shui, and she writes an article
Mhm.
once a year about the energy of the Chinese astrological sign of the year. And this year happens to be the year of the snake,
Yin wood snake.
the yin wood snake. So that's that feminine energy. And we were talking about the wood in that Zen garden, right? So
Hmm.
Zen garden is more feminine. So yeah, okay, I'm gonna go find the link down here and post it. My apologies, Karen, because like, yeah, usually I'm just like, sometimes I've even messaged her and say,
Where
hello,
is it?
where is
Where is it?
it?
Yeah, yeah, it's awesome. Before we wrap up today, though, at the beginning of this episode, we made a comment about the one shift that we helped our client with, the one thing that we moved.
Oh,
You
yes,
think we
yes.
can share that story?
I think so.
Okay.
We did move more than one thing, and
We
that's
did, but this is the one thing we did
right.
that had like an instant, obvious
Mm-hmm.
um, what's the word I want? Shift in energy for her.
Yep.
So
Mm-hmm.
when we were looking at her bedroom where she sleeps, across from where she lays her head, so the headboard is here. On the opposite side was a dresser with a large mirror.
Mm-hmm.
And our first question to her was, how do you sleep? We always look at the results, the current results that are showing up for you.
Yeah.
And she did not sleep well, up multiple times, etc., etc. So she had also laid out all of her art. She wanted the consultation, she wanted our advice on which art to place where. And she had one beautiful picture, about the size of the one behind Anita.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And similar, actually, very similar to that. However, it didn't suit anywhere else, but we brought it into the bedroom and put it in front, strategically placed it in front of the mirror, so blocking that mirror energy. And what did she say to us the next day?
She had the most amazing sleep and didn't get up once. And the beauty of that was that she is having, just a few health challenges, nothing grandiose, just a little bit here, a little bit there, right? And if you're not getting a good night's sleep, that's when your body does the regeneration and the
Absolutely.
recharging. Then, that ripples out and affects your health. And yeah, we saw her the next day, and I mean, her facial
Yeah.
expression, she was,
Her energy was up.
her energy was up because she had one good night's sleep. Yay! Right? Yeah,
Something so simple.
love it, love it. Karen posted the link
Oh,
already
did
for me. Thank you, my dear. And as soon as I click this link off, oh, dang, I can't go. Well, maybe I have a few minutes. Cheryl and I have what are we doing right after this?
Oh my
Let's
God.
talk.
We are meeting with Lady JB Owen herself to do a chapter polish because Anita and I are co-authoring a chapter in Ignite Impact, which is coming out in February. So
Woo-hoo-hoo.
we will keep you posted on that
Interesting.
as well.
Yeah, it's the 26th collaboration book that Ignite Publishing has done. And this will be the second one that I've been in, and this will also be Cheryl's second one, correct?
Correct? Yep.
And here we are, number two today, laying a foundation. Number 26 is an eight. Love, love, love it. And yeah, that's another reason why we have to prepare for the Chinese New Year so that all of these things just happen in a beautiful, graceful way.
And we are going to sign off at
Mm.
10:01.
Oh, there we go.
Have a great week, everybody.
Thanks for tuning in. See you next week.